every word you write down, millions of people are gonna listen to this. I used to be so angry at myself at the fact that it hurt when somebody said something hurtful.
I want children one day. I want a son. I want 2 sons one day, right?
Damn, just hit it raw dog, man. Bust up, shoot up the club. You'll be all right.
No, not right now. I'm not ready for that right now.
You ever come raw dog and a girl before?
Why you asked me that question?
Have you? I'm just curious.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
it was
you know
good.
What I'm saying? It's even
really
better
good.
when she's not on birth control. It's like something just.
I ain't ready for kids right now, though. Logic, a 33-year-old Grammy-nominated artist, father, friend, and role model. I recently had the opportunity to sit down with Logic. We hit on everything from mental health to fatherhood to everything in between. With this Logic interview being out, I'm happy to announce that I'm officially launching my podcast, the Speaz On podcast, hosted by, you guessed it, yours truly. Yay! This Logic episode will be on all streaming platforms, so that includes Spotify, Apple Music, etc. Do me a favor by dropping a like on this episode if you like it. Also, if you could rate my podcast on Spotify, I would eternally appreciate that. Anyway, I appreciate you and enjoy this 1 hour plus long conversation with Logic. Logic, thank you for showing up, bro. This is such a big moment for me, bro. Looking back on how much you've inspired me. You're someone who I looked at as a role model when I was growing up. I found you back in 2011. I grew up as a young man, my adolescent years. I saw you, bro. I saw how you moved. I saw everything you did. I was so inspired by you. And to come full circle like this, bro. Like sit down with you like this.
That's really sweet.
Face to face.
First thing I noticed, I know, face to face. I finally saw it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
They're looking. You're looking at me.
I know.
Yeah, they're not gonna see this.
I can't see him, man. It's crazy. You look just like George Bush. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't expose me like that.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. You know, I was thinking about it, and you know, I think one thing I really respect about you is you always keep it 100, just with your opinion, because that's all music is anyway, right?
Nice.
It's really just opinion.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the culture and you talk about hip hop, not just me, but everybody, you really do it in a like a loving, dope, fun way. You could be like a little savage, you know, but that's normal.
You think so?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Okay,
But not in a bad, but like, like you're talking to your boys, you know, and your boys could be like, nah, man, that's not good, man, and here's why. But you're still very much so, just super respectful, and that's why, you know, when it comes to this beautiful circle of hip hop, I think your voice is extremely important. So thank you for wanting to do this with me today.
That really means a lot, bro, coming from you. I mean,
it's true.
I feel like I really reflect your energy, because like, one thing I always say is anyone who's close to me, one thing they know is like the number one influence on my life is my dad. My dad is always number one. But if there's anyone on the outside, because I never had a big brother, I always say it's Logic.
Oh, damn.
It really is. It really is you, bro.
That's like, so nice of you. It's funny too watching you, because like, not to say, first of all, you're your own person.
Yeah.
You're killing it. You're doing great.
Yeah.
But just watching you, I'm like, dude, this is like, how old are you? I'm
27.
Oh yeah, for sure. So when I was like 25 to 20, like your demeanor and how you're walking around, you're shaking everybo's hand, asking everybody's name.
I learned that from you.
What? Really?
Yeah. Because you had this one interview. I remember you said something about, I can't remember the interview, but was it back in 2011, 2010? And you were talking about how you always got to shake the janitor's hand the same way you shake the CEO's hand. And that shit always stuck with me.
I said that?
You said something along those lines, and then that stuck with me. Wow. Yeah.
But it's real. It's just so true. You got to treat everybody with respect. Every single person. If there's somebody in a room and you don't acknowledge them, what a douche. You know what I mean? Course, like, for real.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool. Here we are. We're here.
Here we are. So many things have changed for you, bro.
Yeah.
Right now, you're an independent artist.
Yeah.
You just dropped College Park.
I did.
You're a father.
I am.
You look happy.
I am. I really am.
I feel like you're at like your peak of creativity right now, just because you're doing things the way you want to do it.
Yeah, man.
Especially this recent album, man, College Park. We got to talk about that.
For sure.
I feel like that album is kind of like, to me, I listened to it, right? I've gone through it like so far like 3 times, and to me, it feels like almost like a passion project of yours.
Yeah, that's kind of all music is for me now.
Tell me about that.
You know, it's like coming up, you want to be respected as an MC, you want to be appreciated, and then I got that, and then it's like, okay, well, this is cool, but I'm trying to make some money. You know what I mean? And then you make some moves, I don't regret a single thing that I've ever done, you know, because even when I was making pop music for money, my heart was in it because I was like, I'm about to get rich. Like I was like, this is what I'm gonna do.
But did you do it for love or like
always for the love? Every time I'm in the studio, it's for the love.
Okay.
So back when I was trying to be Drake or trying to be Kendrick or trying to be Cole,
you were just trying to find yourself.
Of course, but I'm saying like when I was like, oh man, Drake would sing it like this, oh baby girl, don't leave me, or some shit, whatever. I was like trying to do that because I was like, oh, that's what's popping, that's a trend, that's cool, and I want to find my own space in that lane. And even when I was doing that and it was making me a bunch of money, my heart was completely in it in the studio. And then afterwards I'm like, okay, how can I market this? How can I get it as big as it could possibly get? But I think what's really funny is looking back now, you know, when I was that age, I really cared a lot, you know, about like what people thought, or if they only like the boom bap logic, they don't like the trap logic, or they like the trap logic, they don't like the singing logic, or whatever. That shit used to really affect me. But I think after having a child, which I know I've been saying it since he was born, but it really makes you not give a shit.
I mean, that's one thing parents say always, like when they get children, it's your baby. And now you kind of got to be strong for them. So like if you're not strong for your son, if you let these other things out on the outside affect you, what kind of father are you going to be in the household?
That's so real,
right?
Especially if you're and I'd been there not when he was born, but even like just before, when my wife was pregnant, and you know, you hear things on the internet or you know, see things or whatever, and I used to think about it. So then I wasn't as present with my family, with my wife, with my friends, because I'm thinking about something that doesn't even exist in this space.
True.
Which is weird. It exists on the internet. And once I just started to learn that, and it's something I'm still learning, you know, like I sacrificed my 20s to get where I am today as a man. And now I do the best that I can every single day to be as present as possible. Yeah. But I can only imagine where I'll be by 43. I'm excited. Like,
I mean, you're doing a good job being present. Like, one thing about you is, like, I think the reason why you're so present is because you got so much love for the music. And one thing that sets you apart from everybody else, Logic loves whatever the fuck he does. You write a book, you love it. You're a director, you love it. Music, you love it. Whatever you do, you love it. And you're a passionate person. Like, I can even see the way with your team, you're passionate.
For sure,
like, you got that light in your eyes, and I think that translates into being someone who, at the age of 33, right, you've grown so much. You're not this young guy trying to figure shit out, caring about the validation, because that's fickle. And now I think with you being a father, is that like what exactly is the switch?
Man, that's crazy that you just said all that. And that you're 27. I wish I knew how to even say that at 27.
Come on, bro. You know how to say that.
Because you got to understand, there is a difference. You know, for you to say like, what's the switch? What changed? What is it? You say I love my art and I love making my art, and that's all that matters. Yeah. But like, I used to really be upset. Like, how come they don't like my art though? How come the cool kids at the cool table don't like my art? And I would start making music, trying to write certain songs or records based on that. Or I would write songs like, damn, like when you go from nobody really knowing who you are or whatever to then becoming a household name with a record like 1-800 and then Homicide and Everyday and all, you know, that run that I was on, that's like a scary thing. So you go from being like not super known, very established in hip hop, but not a household name, and then you are, and then you start freaking out thinking about the fact that every word you write down, millions of people are gonna listen to it, and then you start second guessing and start this. So once I had my child, and I realized that none of that matters anyway, that's when I just could give a fuck. Now I'll just write rap. I mean, come on, bro. Self-Medication is one of my favorite songs I've ever written ever, and I just was like, literally, I was just like, I'm gonna shit all over this page. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? How does it open? How does that open? I just copped an MPC 60 from Japan as I'm rapping through this SM7 that's in my hand. Got a corner powder Buddha, I'm smoking it by the gram. If you don't know you, then you know I'm dapping you up with the left hand. Don't nothing come close to sampling ill shit. Not even self-medication, no matter how good to sip. Not the best weed or the things money can buy. When I fire up the program, feel like I can fly. Like, that is just me rapping about such an inside thing that if you don't know Fruity Loops and Ableton and hip hop in production, then you're not gonna get it. And I used to be so scared to rap about shit like that, and now it's easily the most popular song on the whole fucking album, and Seth MacFarlane's on it, and Redman, and when you just don't get, I mean, I give a fuck, but I give a fuck about the craft, the art, having fun.
Like you should. I mean, that's what it's about. Yeah. Like you can't spend your, and by the way, I want to ask you something about that. You said you overthinking and analyzing these things. Is that maybe what, because you've been really open about anxiety, mental health, right? Mm-hmm. And you even have on your Everybody album from 2017, you have the song called Anxiety featuring Lucy Rose. Shout out to her.
Shout out to Lucy.
She's very talented. And I want to ask you, like, that's a very common theme all over. When I think about Logic, I think about all the good things in the world, right? But I also think about mental health, depression, all these dark things, all those things that I've been struggling with my entire life, bro.
For sure.
And you've been like an outlet for me to kind of relieve that pressure, right? But I want to ask you, like, that overthinking thing, like, is that what contributed to your anxiety, or is it something else? Because I do also remember that you did have a moment where this is like one of the, I felt like this is one of the craziest moments of your career when you had just sold out. I believe it was maybe the Madison Square Garden,
yeah.
And then all these thousands of people
sold out,
and you broke down on stage. And I saw that shit broke my heart because I was like, damn.
Oh, no, that was actually a festival I was headlining in Philadelphia.
Was that? Okay.
So real super duper quick. The Madison Square Garden thing was the fact that I had sold out the Garden, and in real life I was like, oh my God, and they're chanting my name and they're singing every lyric. And then I go off stage, but I look at my phone and the internet was like clowning me.
Talk about that then. Like, is that what contributes to, like, is that part of it?
Oh, yeah, I mean, of course, bro. First of all, we're not supposed to be exposed to as much shit as we're exposed to. Like, just all the things that we see daily, it's insane. Let alone one person in the 1% of the world that is so famous that just millions of people are talking about them every day.
Yeah.
And with that, you see the positive and the negative, you know? So that's why I just stepped away from it. Because, yeah, it did affect me, and it affected me. You know, I'd have people be like, well, you got to have tough skin, and you got to, and it's just like, nah, that's not true. I used to be so angry at myself at the fact that it hurt when somebody said something hurtful. I used to be mad at myself.
Where did the anger come from?
Because I think that also came from the world being like, you're a man, you're not supposed to feel this way. I know, for real, but honestly, every time you go online, and this is years ago, I'm in a much different space.
I know you are. Yeah. Sure. Of course. Yeah, you don't give a fuck about that now. Yeah,
exactly. So, but the thing that I learned, you know, over these last few years is that, like, it's okay that it hurts. I'm a human being. I'm sensitive. I'm emotional. I'm a man. That's who I am. I'm not trying to deny any of these natural feelings and emotions that I have. And once I did that, and I stopped being mad at myself at the fact it hurt, and I allowed myself to go, it's okay, it hurts. You're human. I then realized that I'm in control of two things: how much it hurts and how long I allow it to hurt me. And all those feelings that I felt before my son was born just completely diminished because I realized, like, none of that shit matters. And now I don't focus, so I don't go on the internet. Like, I don't. Sometimes I'll poke in a little bit to connect with fans, and then even then I'll see some, you know, some really gnarly shit that somebody's saying about my baby or my family or whatever, and then I see it, and I used to, like, it would fuck me up. And I would, like, click it, and I would try to learn about this person. Like, why don't you like me? Like, I really tried to understand, like, bro, you got a Cowboy Bebop avatar. I like Bebop. You listen to Doom. I like Doom. You like Supreme. I like Supreme. You came from nothing. I see you got a nice little job. And then I just stopped one day and was like, bro, this shit doesn't matter. Like, there is nothing that I could ever do in a million years to make someone or people at the cool kids table or whatever like me that don't like me. And then also, if those people that I want to like me are saying hurtful, mean, negative, terrible, unthinkable, speakable shit about me and others, I don't want you to like me. You're a piece of shit. And when I realized that, I was really set free.
One thing I always say this, tell myself that when I'm worrying too much about what's going on the outside, what people say about me is, a lot of people, they make up their mind about you before they even speak to you. So why would you try to convince someone who you already know doesn't fuck with you? So, like,
and they're not even going to give you the time to convince them because they just made their mind up.
Exactly. And they don't really, it's not personal because they don't know you personally.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah, I know, but it's hard when you're someone like me who is so personable.
Of course.
And puts that in his music.
Of course.
Whatever, and then people are just like.
But I think you're gonna make the, like, right now, you know, maybe let's talk a little bit about College Park because this is fresh. This is where your mind is at.
Yeah.
You got a tour coming.
Well, not really. What's funny is College Park is like 3 years ago.
But you dropped it now.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's, I actually did not know you. Did you record the whole thing 3 years ago?
Over the last 3 years, so I would say 80% of it was done 3 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. But like your mind is on College Park right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, not really, but yeah.
It's not?
Okay. Bro, I'm sitting on some shit, bro.
Okay, I mean, shit.
But I know what I guess we could say I'm promoting.
At the forefront. It's at the forefront. Like that's the, when people.
For sure.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that, like putting that together. Like, what kind of headspace did you have to be in to put something like that together? Because this is some raw shit. There's a lot of real shit in this.
Yeah, it's cool that you asked the question like that because I was in various headspaces. I made it over 3 years, and in that I went from my son literally being born to him growing to us moving to Montana, moving back, went to Oregon, went to Cali, now we in San Diego. Like, it's just, there was so much stuff.
Yeah.
And bro, there was times when there was like a year that went by when I barely rapped at all and just learned guitar and piano and was just singing and making music, which I think was helping my lyrics just grow, and not even as about like how much I could say. When you look at the ending, Light Year, you know what I mean? Just to be able to, I didn't have get down and lay down, hit you with the Beretta, but I didn't have to like put a million words. I could just, it only took a light year to get past the bullshit, and now I'm right here, unapologetically me. And that's the idea. Like, that's a real thing and a place that I had to find. Because, a lot of people, they'll say things like, oh, that doesn't affect me. No, I don't give a shit what they say. But like, clearly
they're obviously lying. I mean, this the thing is,
I've been there.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's a man thing, bro. And I got that too. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what nobody says about me.
Yeah, but then you laying in bed like, damn,
cry myself to sleep every single night.
That's real though.
Not really though, but
I know.
Yeah, but like that's the thing about this. It's very taboo to say that you care. And it's like one thing about you is like you always wore your heart on your sleeve.
For sure.
And so when you say that you didn't really give a fuck, I'm like, I don't really agree with you, because like you're someone who you unapologetically you put yourself at the forefront, and whatever came, it came.
Yeah.
And you learned from it and you grew from it. And now it's like all these years later, I can really, now when I look at you now, it's like, damn, I remember finding out about Logic back in 2011 and to see you, how much you've grown. And it's like you've overcame all this bullshit, man. And it's like now. For
sure. Definitely have. That's why it's so cool, I think, for true fans like yourself, because like College Park takes place 2011. There's something about that era that was such a beautiful time. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, because I don't even like when I talk, and I've done, interviews and different things like that, a lot of the time negative shit, like we end up talking about it. But it's not that like I have a problem with it or this or that. I notice that the people who interview me tend to bring it up. How do you deal with the internet? How do you deal with what people say or this or that? And I think it's a really important thing to discuss. And I think the reason that I tend to discuss it so much is because I myself am so open about it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of other people are scared. So I just appreciate the fact that you're even, bringing this up so that we can make it, like you said, not so taboo, and just talk about what's on our hearts and our minds, for sure.
At the end of the day, it's about like not letting it control you, though, because like it's okay to pay attention to what people are saying about you, but at the end of the day, you can never let it impede anything you're doing in your real life. Like you might see things and shit, you might go on social media like, saying this about me, saying this about my family, this. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you wake up in the morning, you take care of your son, you're with your wife, you got love in your house.
That's the real thing. But most people don't have that, and that's actually what makes me like sad, like, And now whenever I do subject myself to seeing something in that non-existent space, binary ones and zeros that is the internet, I really am just kind of more so taken aback at how fucked up the world is, and how many people out there don't have a voice or feel like they don't have one, or all they know. Like when I think even about the internet, there was always internet trolls and people kind of talking shit, but it's funny because I feel like the trolls back in the day, like in the early mid 2000s, it was more like snobs, like musical snobs, almost like, I don't feel as though the snare hit at the right point because that, and then you fast forward 15 years and they just divert all that and they go, this shit ass. Like the way they speak, like they don't even, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So then you have these young kids who grew up, because this internet is not the internet that I knew 13, 14 years ago. You know, if somebody didn't like something, they just didn't listen to it. You know, they just went, man, that ain't for me. Now people will actually like almost become a fan of someone to hate on them and become obsessed with them, but they're also driving their monthly listeners. It's like a wild.
It's crazy. I mean, they don't like you, but they're always showing up as like, those are actually the same people who are at the front when you're performing. Oh, I believe that. Like those are the people, and because it's like you're paying so much attention to someone who, to be respectful, I think doesn't know who you are, but it's like, and I don't look at that, and I don't judge people like that now, because I know that if you got so much hate in your heart, what's really in your mind? What are you thinking? What kind of ideas do you have in your mind?
Who hurts you? What are you going through?
Yes,
that's the real thing. That's how I feel, and that's why I write the records that I write, man. Like I write the songs that I write, for everybody. First and foremost, selfishly, I write them for me. All my art I make for me,
like
bro,
you
whatever
should.
It is, me. And then I only really care, like, do my homies, like, that was another thing that I realized when thinking about negativity in others and whose opinion matters and who doesn't. It's like, bro, if Joe Schmo, whoever want to talk shit about me, cool, no problem. If I'm not talking about Joe Budden, I'm talking about Joe Schmo, but now we're talking about Joe Budden because Joe Budden definitely loves to talk shit, and I have nothing but love for that man as a brother in arms.
We got love for him for sure.
But what I'm saying is, it's a crazy thing to think, like, if somebody wants to say, you know, this, that, and the third, that we can let it eat away at us, you know what I mean? Or we can really step back and realize, like, the only opinion that truly matters to me are the people that love me. So, like, if somebody that doesn't like me or doesn't know me is like, oh, this is whack or da-da-da, and I used to care about that, I think the defining moment, or one of them, is like, man, what if Six told me, like, he didn't fuck with me? Or Six was like, you're lame. You know, my brothers. If those people said that shit to me, it would tear me apart. But they don't.
Can I play devil's advocate though? You said something. I want to ask you, like, do you not think, and you're probably gonna agree with this, but do you not think that your own opinion should matter the most? Because then
that's what I said.
Right?
I said first and foremost, like, when I make my music.
Oh, of course. Of course.
I do it for me. Could give a fuck.
Of course.
But I guess
secondary, like the people that you love, you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's what matters the most, because it's like they're in the ring with me.
Of course. You know? Yeah.
So, but anyway. On to positive shit.
Yes, let's talk about. Can we talk a little bit about fatherhood, bro? Because like every time you talk about your son, bro, like I see the light in your eyes, and I'm like, I want to get that light in my eyes one day, because I want children one day. I want a son. I want 2 sons one day, right?
Damn, just hit it raw dog, man. Bust up, shoot up the club. You'll be all right.
Not right now. I'm not ready for that right now.
Might as well. Fuck it.
Not right now.
Life is short.
No, not
YOLO.
right now. Can't right now.
Why not? Just
don't
shoot
try
up
to
the
convince
club.
me, please. Don't do that to me.
Why? Just do it. It's awesome.
Please don't do that to me. I gotta meet the right woman.
You ever come raw dog and a girl before?
Why you asked me that question?
Have you? I'm just curious.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
it was
you know
good.
What I'm saying? It's even
really
better
good.
when she's not on birth control. It's like something just.
I ain't ready for kids right now, though.
It's human. It's amazing.
Hey, I need to get my bag up. Okay.
Okay, get your bag up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to do more shit, travel more, enjoy myself more.
I really respect that.
You enjoy yourself. Like the thing about you, like you have a son now.
Yeah.
But like you enjoyed yourself. Like I'm saying, like you.
Yeah, I worked a lot. I enjoyed the journey, but I definitely worked a lot. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I woke up, my 20s were gone because I sacrificed them.
Okay.
I literally sacrificed my 20s. I didn't party. I didn't go out. I didn't do nothing wild, no drugs. I didn't. And then now that I'm in my 30s, I'm happy I did that because I can do whatever the fuck I want. But it tends to just be, you know, focusing on lower back pain and stretching.
Yeah.
In your 30s, you know.
Let me hit on that actually. Like you said, you sacrificed your 20s, and that's kind of, I'm kind of on the same wave. You know, I just literally started living this last year. I feel like
you've been grinding for a minute.
Yes, and it's like, let me pop out now, Logic, and live a little. You know what I'm saying? Like with the jewelry and all. You know,
do people know where you're from?
$300 watch? No, they don't.
Oh shit!
They don't.
I say this: you ain't from America.
Damn, I think I'm actually might cut that out.
Why?
I don't know.
It's obvious.
It's not obvious.
People don't know.
People don't know.
I mean, I guess technically you could have been raised in a.
Why was it obvious? I'm so curious.
You have an accent.
Okay, you notice it?
100,000%.
But nobody notices it.
I've always noticed it.
You have?
You should leave it in the comments.
But don't. I'm talking about right now. Do you notice it?
Yes.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. Okay, you guys notice it too?
Yeah, but you say that like it's a bad thing. That's dope.
No. Like,
haven't you heard our boy over here? I'm sorry.
I'm trying to keep the
anonymity
aspect thing going. So like I was asking.
Okay, so anyway, my man, he's from Africa.
Africa? No, I'm actually from.
I'm joking.
Another place. Yeah, wherever. I'm definitely gonna cut that out. But I actually am.
Look
from
at
Africa.
him. It's so funny. You're so worried. Meanwhile, I could give a fuck. All right,
I know you don't. I know you don't care, bro. I'm gonna edit this shit. So
who gives a shit?
I don't give a shit.
Ask me what the fuck was we talking about?
But yeah, no, I forgot what we were talking about. Let me read this actually.
Wait, no, you said so, as a man who sacrificed.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah,
and you've only just so recently started.
Exactly. Yeah. So I want to ask you about that. You said that you sacrificed your 20s, right?
Yes.
Do you think as a young man in this world, is it important to do that? Because a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people do it backwards. They party a lot in their 20s, and then in their 30s, they're playing catch up. But for you, and definitely for me, I can say that, I sacrificed that bulk of my 20s, right? So now going into my 30s, I know that things are going to be way better than they would have been had I bullshitted that time away. And I feel like you're on that, but like, what do you think of, is that something that's important as a young man in this world?
Yeah, I always tell people, like, the time to fuck up and ruin your life, chasing a dream, if you will, is like till you're like 26, maybe 27. That's cutting it really close. It's like, if you're going to really just give it everything you got from the time you're out of high school to the time you got to really start thinking about, like, all right, well, playing guitar in this death metal group's really not working for me. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you still can't do that thing that you love and be passionate about it, but it's like, all right, man, I think I should probably get a job.
Yeah.
And
why is that, by the way? Can like, explain that. Like, why is that? Is it because, like, obviously you got less energy when you're 30?
No, I ain't even talking about that. I'm just like, society-wise, like, that's the best time to if you're going to, okay, it's like this. If you're going to party and do all this drugs and all this other shit like you're talking about, it's like most people tend to do that in their 20s. And then they just get tired by their 30s and probably still keep doing it. Some people. Yeah. But I looked at it like, okay, I'm not going to party. I'm not going to this. I'm not going to that. I'm going to chase a dream. And just like if you're a smart person, that partying has to end at some point. You know, you have to chase that dream and chase it full time until you can't. If you never make it, then there's just a time where you have to be like, all right, bro, I need to you know, maybe finish school, go back to school, get a job, and that still doesn't mean that you give up on your dream. It's just you have to, what do I say, determination, persistence, realism, and wanting success more than your next breath is the key to fucking doing anything in this world. I also actually just found out another piece of that. It's what's the word? Being ready. So I could say that to somebody. I could go, oh, with persistence, determination, realism, and wanting success more than your next breath, you could literally attain anything that you want. Now, I can say that to somebody and they can hear me and go, oh, okay. But it doesn't hit them.
It doesn't, yeah. Because
you got to be ready. So when I say that, you have to be ready to put those words together, because it ain't just my words. I've seen it. I've read these words in books. I've seen them in film. I've seen people like yourself who understand it. So if you don't understand it, then
you just got to be, what I like to say is, there's so many things I received throughout these last couple of years, messages from people telling me things like, oh, maybe do that. This would be smart if you did this. Maybe if you approach your business and your content like this would be smart. All these things, I heard them, but I didn't hear them. And then it's like, now I'm looking back on all those things that people told me, like some of my mentors, and I'm like, oh, damn. I was just not in a place to receive that. And now I am in a place to receive that. And now I'm like, whatever someone who I respect tells me now, I listen. I write it down. I think about it. I meditate on it, because it's like, I know that so many things I overlook because of the way, you know, that lower thinking. You're not ready for it. Like, if you're not ready for it.
But it's important that you say you think on it too, because I've had some really incredible, immaculate people, just billionaires, give me a piece of advice, and I'm like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. This person does not know what they're talking about. And then I do it my way, and I make, you know, 20 million or do some shit, you know, doing a big deal or whatever the case may be. So it's also important to trust yourself, but to be open-minded. You know what I mean? So it's like everything you're talking about. This is why I didn't know this at 27. Shit.
I mean, shit, I'm just learning from the best, I guess.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from you, bro. Like,
thanks.
So much, bro. Like, the way you, because I remember there's so many interviews, you know, the determination, persistence, realism. I remember this one interview after like a show on like The Corner. Do you remember that one? Was it like 2011
corner,
maybe?
What are you talking about?
You were standing like at like, so you had performed and then you were like outside like a venue, and then that's like the first interview I saw from you. You were talking about, you had like a black, was it like a little black coat on, I believe it was.
I think it was purple. I think it was black and purple. It might have been a Lakers.
I think it might have been.
But it was outside and I had curly hair.
Yeah, kind of curly hair. Yeah. It was like super skinny.
Shit. I mean, yeah, for sure.
Just like
always super skinny.
Yeah, I know. You put on some weight later. In the Bobby Tarantino era, you became chunky.
Yeah, I got swole, and everybody thought I was on steroids, but it was just a dumbbell, a sandwich, and half my ancestry building this country. And then now I got the dad bod that I keep in shape. I ran 2 miles today. I did a nice circuit of 5 different sets of a bunch of shit.
Okay.
And I'm vibing.
Talk about that, like the lifestyle. Like, what kind of lifestyle are you living in terms of just like you seem like you're not only happier, but you seem like way healthier now. You seem like you're more focused.
Thanks, man. Yeah, for sure.
What do you do? Like, what is, you don't have to go through your whole day, but just like the lifestyle you're living like right now. Like,
this is what I do. I wake up, I play chess, I take a shit, I work out. I'll do like biceps, triceps, squats, burpees, shoulders, repeat 5 sets, jump on a treadmill, run 2 miles, walk 4 miles, something like that. I'll do like business calls on the treadmill. So I run and then I get my steps in. Shit, I was making beats on the treadmill the other day.
Damn, okay.
I know. And
you're that active now?
Yeah, for sure. Great. Yeah, and it really is just about consistency, because it's like I don't want to do it, but I do look forward to it. So I'll do that, and then after that, that's when I go to work. And
can I ask you, like, what time do you start working on like music and stuff like that?
I mean, I work as soon as I get up, and the only time I ever stop is for my wife and my son. So I'm going, and then when they need me, they need my attention, or I go, hey, I should go spend time with my family.
How do you balance that though? Like, do you have a remind? Like, how does that work for someone who's as busy as you?
I don't fucking know. Ask somebody. I don't know, because it's never perfect. Some days I feel like the best dad ever. Some days I feel like I'm neglecting my wife and son. That's not true, but it's just, I think a good parent, it never feels like a good parent. So that means I'm a good parent. Yeah. And I think the same could be said about, partnership and all that. So what do I do? It's just when I realize, oh shit, because what my weekends are always for my family. So Saturday, we call that date day. All day and night, me and my wife hang every Saturday, no matter what. I like that. And then every Sunday is family day. Me, my wife, and my son, all day, no matter what. Here and there, sure, I might have a call, I might have a little, text or whatever, but I'm not working. Like, it's not a work thing.
That's good.
And then Monday through Friday, I'm grinding my ass off.
And like the thing is, like, the reason why you can do that is because like you worked so hard. That's and like true. Now you put yourself in a situation where you literally don't have to work a day in your life, but you're working like you're broke. Damn. You're showing up every single day, aren't you?
That's true. Yeah,
like,
I'm busting my ass.
I'm hearing you talk. I'm like, damn, like you've accomplished all this. Like, the thing is, people think that people forget. This is what people forget, right? Even I right now, I'm really trying to be present in where I'm at right now, because like the second I put out this interview, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know who's gonna see it.
It's gonna be popping.
It's gonna be popping, of course. But I'm saying, like, a lot of times you get stuck in thinking, I want that. Now, I appreciate this. Like, I'm so present right now. I'm like hearing everything you're saying, and I'm really trying to stay in the moment. And one thing people forget is that just because you get to the level that you're at doesn't mean that you stop working. You gotta keep working. You gotta keep.
If anything,
innovative.
I work 10 times harder, because it's like, bro, how many rappers can sell out an arena or this or that in their approaching their mid-30s? Not a lot. So that's why I step back and go, man, this is like crazy, but I still gotta grind, because now my grind now is like, I feel like I've really my 10,000 hours, shit, I got like 100,000 of these motherfuckers.
You got a million probably at this point, but yeah.
So now that I feel so comfortable in my music, and I'm just making it for fun, and I'm just making it for the art. The side quest these days for Bob is more like just YouTube and TikTok and all that. Like, I actually really enjoy it. Like, bro, when you really think about it, I haven't actually like been on the internet consistently. Like, I'm on this motherfucker since 2018. And that's how many years is that? 5 years? Yeah. Approaching 5.5 years.
Yeah.
And that's when, like, I would post the Instagram story. Just one story would get 1 million views a day, and I was posting 10. There's 10 million views on the Instagram story. That's the main post, the this, the all this other shit. And the difference between now and then is I was like trying to make the perfect, let me get the good angle, make sure my arm look good, let me do all this shit that was bullshit.
Yeah.
And now I'm taking over the internet even crazier through consistency, but I'm like, could give a fuck. I'm like, make sure you get my fucked up hair, all that other shit. It's just I don't give a damn. I was even saying like how like I guess makeup is a little different. The only reason I do wear makeup in interviews is just because I don't want to be sheeny and because my neck gets really red.
I get that.
Yeah, shiny. I don't want to sheen. I got the sheen, shine.
Can we talk a little bit about that? I want to read this this bar that you wrote, right?
All right.
From the song Clone Wars, right?
Yes.
And this is what you say, right? This is what Logic says from his album College Park. The song is called Clone Wars. He says,
it's called Clone Wars 3.
3. Yeah, I forgot the 3. I'm sorry.
So
he says, Logic says, did everything I could to fit in. Man, I really tried, but was crucified. There was days when I wished I was Cole, wished I was Kendrick. Days when I wished I was Lupe, hella eccentric. Days when I wished I was Jay and had the blueprint. Making fresh money like a Newman, till I woke up one day and realized I'm Logic. Something they could never be. Let's not even acknowledge it. I spent my whole career at the heels of their feet, doing everything I could to try to be who they be. Till a couple albums back, when I was finally set free, by the realization, all I gotta do is be me. That right there is like what you just talked about, not giving a damn about whatever the fuck they say.
That's one of my most favorite things I've ever written. So the fact that you just said that is like actually makes me really happy.
I mean, I just really last night I was listening to the album again, and I listened. I was like, by the realization, all I got to do is be me. And then I kind of looked myself in the mirror, and I was like, I had like a little like spiritual experience, because I was like, damn, I'm about to do this with Logic tomorrow.
Wow.
This guy that I've been a fan of since 2011.
Crazy.
He's been preaching being himself ever since I was in my adolescent years. Even
when it was hard, like I was preaching be yourself to me, still like, they don't like me though. Like,
you know? But talk a little bit about that, brother, because like I feel like, especially in the social media age, man, like self-acceptance is like something I feel like a lot of people struggle with.
It's like impossible. I mean, think about it. It's like if I'm happy with my dad bod and my wrinkles, and my this and my that, and then I go online, but everyone's like, look at your dad bod and your wrinkles, and I was like, I mean, I am okay with this.
Yeah.
But then when you have a bunch of people saying something at you, it's almost like, it's not, no. And then you start to, oh no, I'm getting sucked back into the matrix because I'm really caring about what's going on in this it's like, bro, I look like a healthy, normal 33-year-old dude.
Of course.
I'm not fucking all ripped. I don't look like Ryan Reynolds. He's a snack, fuck. Anyway, I don't look like Ryan Reynolds. None of that. It's just like, this is me. And so that line, it's funny because in the College Park trailer, Clone Wars 3 is there, and it says there was days I wished I was Cole, wished I was Kendrick, all that.
That's the animation my boy Tristan did, right?
Yes.
That's my friend, by the way. We've known each other since 2017.
Didn't he do this?
He did the Avatar. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, shout out to my boy.
He's incredible.
I love him.
Shout out to you, and thank you for bringing such a visual and incredible component to this album.
That's my brother for life. I just want to give a shout out to him because like he made this shit happen for me, and we're working on some other stuff, and he's been saying so many good things about you, like just working with you,
man.
I love him. But continue. Just want to give my brother some flowers.
Of course. And I remember in that trailer, the lyrics were, there was days when I wished I was Cole, wished I was Kendrick. And then it cuts to, but I'm Logic, something they could never be. And then it cuts.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, I hope it doesn't sound like I'm talking shit, because I'm not, like, it makes sense when you listen to it all the way through. It's just about self-acceptance.
Oh, you were overthinking that?
No, for a second, and then I was like, who gives a fuck?
Right.
Like, literally, because I was like, first of all, people like Kendrick and Cole, who are just grown men who have had this realization before I did, for sure, because they're older than me. Yeah. It's like, those guys are awesome. They're not worried. Of course. There ain't nobody worried, especially when your intent is from a good place in your heart. You don't got to worry. So I
mean, the thing is too, like, that's the kind of thing that's coming from a good place.
Yeah,
so it's like,
for sure.
Even if the world thinks that, even if the hip hop blogs talks about, oh, Logic said this about Cole, Kendrick, they could see that and it could be like, oh, that's Logic just doing him. And they're confident in that.
I remember I saw this article that came out that was like, Logic says, "Good Kid, Mad City." He didn't like it when he listened to it and and all this shit. And I was like, "What?"
I don't remember you saying that.
And then SZA came out and was like, "Y'all are lame for writing this."
I remember that.
Yeah. Shout out SZA. Yeah, and she was like, "Y'all are lame. This is some clickbait bullshit." That's not what he. That's not what he said.
Yeah.
Even though technically, because basically what I said was, I was like, "Yeah." The first time I heard "Good Kid, Mad City," I was like, "This is okay."
Yeah.
But I just listened to it again and again, and then I started and that's what I feel like most music reception really is, right? Like, to me, that's one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time.
Yeah.
But I needed to go through it and take my time with it. But people will just listen to a song or an album once and be like, classic, or listen to it once and be like, garbage.
Yeah,
and they don't they don't really, but that's because we're in such an information age where everybody wants to be on the verge of like the first headline, the first click, the first tweet, the first this.
Yeah.
So we're not actually consuming
Have you
music.
noticed how too, like you're not on the internet, so maybe you don't know, but like I see it all the time. An album drops and it's like 1 hour in, people judge it, and it's like, the album is 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you listen to this album, or are you just putting this out just to put out some opinion?
Yeah, that's real.
And I think that has a lot to do with people just want to be heard.
Yeah.
People
and
just
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And of course there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a lot wrong with when you judge a book by its cover. Like literally you read 2 pages and then you think you know the whole book. And that's something that Bobby, that's something that you've struggled with. Like, you've been very open about that. Like, a lot of the, the validation part of you've kind of been chasing it. You've been overthinking a lot of things. And then I feel like, was.
Sure,
of course, yeah. Right now he's not overthinking shit. But like now it's like, you're just kind of so confident in, this is who I am. This is what I do.
Man, I've had some people, I texted Ice Cube the other day and was like, I was like, man, I did this cover. And I was like, had a blast. I just want to thank you so much for all the inspiration. And basically told him, I was like, man, it's because of you. As a black man, I didn't have my father in the household. He was running around smoking crack. And your music was there for me. Your music showed me how to make it out the hood and not sell drugs to my community and not start, violent shit and this and da-da-da, how to make it out. And I was like, thank you so very much. That's why I did the song. Yeah. I did the song because I was like, I'm just going to do karaoke for fun on my YouTube page.
And I saw the cover and I was like, oh, that's Logic just doing him.
Having a blast. And for me, I saw a lot of people that was like, this shit is dope. And I saw a lot of loud people that was like mad or this or that, whatever. Too. And guess what? Like, I don't even need validation from Ice Cube. But the fact that he was just so kind and nice, you know what I mean? Like, and we could have a cool conversation that didn't even have nothing to do with music. Yeah, it really meant a lot to me.
It's because the people that like he's supposed to receive that, he knows that it's coming from a good place. So like that's
a real thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like doing you is the best thing that you can do, but it is hard. Like even still, it's hard. Yeah, you know what I mean?
But how do you find this? The thing about doing you too is like it is that thing where like so many things are coming at you from the outside, right?
Yeah.
So how do you really find the strength to, despite what all the voices are telling you, how do you find the strength to like, I'm a double down on me? Like right now,
double down. I love it. Yeah, doubling
down on you,
dude. I think I just was at my wit's end. I was like, oh fuck, I've done everything I could try to do to make people like me that don't. Because all the people that love me, have always loved me, will always love me. Yeah. I love y'all, my fans, my friends, and because there was nothing else left to do but be myself, that was it. Bro, I've had so many people recently texting me and telling me like just big names, and I don't even want to say who they are because they're my friends and they were just hitting me as friends. Yeah. Being like, bro, this is crazy. Like you're really being you, and you have this confidence and this aura about yourself. You really Keep doing it because you're showing these kids and you're showing people. And I'm talking about from various people, some of my favorite mentors, black men, like just like people that I love and revere and respect, being like, keep doing what you're doing. And all I'm doing is being hilarious and sus and fucking funny and all this shit. You know what I mean? Because this is a real sit down. You know, I've done some interviews, and I do some interviews where, I'm almost like doing a bit. Like it's funny. I'm like, "What's up, motherfucker?" And I'm being entertaining.
Yeah.
But that's because there is a duality to Logic. You know, there's these different sides of me. But what you're gonna get is you're going to get what I wish I got when I sat down on Breakfast Club for the first time. You're going to get somebody who recognizes the type of person you are.
Yeah.
And so that's how I'm going to sit down with you. You are kind, respectful, fucking beautiful, amazing.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
You're a fucking good person.
Thank you, brother.
And I'm doing the best that I can to match your energy. Like, I got an interview I'm doing after this with like 2 white boys who just be hilarious and shit. So I'm just gonna be like, "What's up, motherfuckers?" Like, it's different
because these are the kind of conversations I have with the people closest to me. So it's like I'm just picking their brain on all this shit. Like, we're just talking about shit. Yeah. How to get over that? How to, how to find the confidence to keep going? Because that's how I'm thinking. Like, I feel like those are some of the hardest things for us to. It's good to have fun. It's good to have cool, funny conversations, whatever. But the things that I think about, time and place. But the thing I think about before I sleep every single night, I wake up in the morning, is like, how can I make today stick? What can I do to keep going? Wow. I got that coming. I got that problem coming. Damn, this just happened. That happened. Damn, that person said that. I got this. I got to help my dad with this. I got to do that. Family. I got so many things. And it's like, I'm trying to stay present with this. Like, this is the moment that matters right now. Yeah. And I feel like for you too, you've kind of, I look at you and I say, oh, Logic has definitely came to terms with the fact that the only moment that matters is right now as his baby boy's growing up.
That's a real thing.
Right?
And right now, like, there's a part of me that's always with my son and my loved ones. But like here right now, the only thing I'm thinking about is you and me and us talking and having, this is it.
This is it.
And for a long time, I would do an interview and be like, man, I wonder how many views this is going to get. I wonder, is it even worth it? Like, there was a time in my career where I was just like, if like they're not popping, what's the point? Like, I'm not, not to sound no way, but it's just like, oh no, I'm trying to go do this radio show and that. Of course, Now I'll be like, I don't give a fuck. I'll sit down with, well, first of all, you're doing fantastic. I'm not talking about yourself.
Oh no, I know that.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
I'm doing good. I know. You're talking about me.
I'm talking about like, just even like unknown, podcaster, and I'll just jump on their shit because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where Logic is in his life creatively and personally. I don't do something if I don't want to do it. Yeah. And when I learned the power of no, 4 years ago, when I learned how to say no.
Talk about that. That's important.
Dude.
Talk about that.
Man, I turned down $1 million to go to Australia and perform for 45 minutes and headline a festival.
$1 million?
$1 million. That's and I turned it down.
A lot of money.
Yeah, but I wanted to kill myself.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, am I going to go and they're going to be like, the suicide guy committed suicide in, Australia. His body was found in a hotel room, and then it's like, nah. I can see that.
Also, wait. So let me ask you this. So you're saying like when the opportunity came to you, you were in a bad place, and you were not ready to do it.
Not in a good place. I had just been going and going and going and going, and I was just on.
May I ask what year was this? I'm just trying to get the timeline.
It's like 2019.
2019. Okay.
Yeah. So it's because I was just going so ham from 2018 into 2019, and just all the records and the albums and this and all this stuff, and then I just felt overrun.
Was that like your lowest, I guess, like point in life?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's my lowest point in life. What's really crazy though is like my lowest point in life was a rich, successful, one of the biggest, most recognized rappers in the world, accomplished all my dreams, financially set, good, wanted for nothing, and I was at my most sad and my most depressed over mom and dad never together, never married, both crack addicts, mother was a prostitute, dad they know the story, but I'm saying like brothers running around, drugs, violence, sisters getting raped, not eating, being able to eat, mother being in insane asylums, in and out of prison, this, that, any day, any of those days was easier than being one of the biggest rappers in the world with all the money in the world. It's something that only Drake knows. Only Kendrick knows. Only Cole knows.
I can't understand it. Nobody can understand it.
Only Kanye knows. Only Jay-Z knows. Only Eminem knows.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing. But guess what? I'm not here. That's why it's like I'm not here to try to talk about that. Let me tell you something dope as fuck. Of course.
Yeah, tell me something.
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind to this day is my most popular album. And I remember when I was writing it, I talked about a lot of things very blunt and to the point. I talked about success. I talked about fame. I talked about juggling money. I talked about how money can make you depressed. I talked about how success is so hard and touring is difficult and da-da-da-da-da-da. And what I realized by doing it, and I don't regret it, I love that album. That album means something so much to me. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying is a lot of people were like, we don't want to hear this. We don't want to hear you rapping about all these like, you know, rich motherfucking problems and da-da-da and all this other shit. And I actually heard that. I really heard it. And I felt it. And then I started writing No Pressure. And I had wanted to do No Pressure since The Incredible True Story, but I wasn't in the mood to do it. After The Incredible True Story, I did Bobby Tarantino. I did everybody. I did all these other things. Bobby Tarantino 2. But I wasn't ready for that, to take them back to that. So, because I saw two different things, and we'll get there because I still want you to understand what I'm saying.
Of course.
And so when I started writing No Pressure, it's the same album as Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. I went through every song that I made in Confessions of a Dangerous Mind and all the topics and the subjects and the things that I had gone through, with the exception of actually having a child, because my child wasn't alive then. My wife was pregnant. And I just copied it verbatim and then wrote it in a way that wasn't, damn, it's hard to juggle millions of dollars and, 30 employees and da-da-da.
So what's the distinction?
And what I said was, damn, money problems, right? That's how I wrote it.
Okay.
Damn, family. Damn, ain't family hard? So rather than be like, damn, ain't it crazy when your 19 cousins all want a house for $1 million and da-da-da. No, I took that shit out because people couldn't really relate to that.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I still can't talk about some flex and shit that people can't relate to from time to time. But to do a whole album, so I was like, you know what? And I don't regret it. I love it. I learned so much from it. But instead of juggling millions is hard, damn, man, it's hard to pay the rent, ain't it? That's the shit that people can relate to. You know what I mean? Damn, my dad's asking me for $1 million. Damn, my dad's an ex-crackhead, ex-drug addict, always asking me for some shit.
Yeah.
Anybody relate to that? So I changed my whole perspective on how I wrote.
So where did that perspective change come from?
Inside. I think there was, like you said, whether it's not, people's opinions, they're not bad. It's really cool. It's just we as artists.
Feedback.
Feedback is feedback. For sure.
What it is, yeah.
I mean, I just think, I heard people loving it, heard people hating it, heard this, heard that, and then I just took from that and was like, how can I be better? Ain't nothing wrong with that. I do that every album. How can I be better? What can I do different?
So you actually look at the feedback and then you're like, what can I improve on?
Yeah, but I think what I changed about the feedback is whose feedback I'm listening to. So I used to listen to the public for so long. Now I don't do that anymore. I can't say that I don't do it completely because, without me doing a fan tour during The Incredible True Story before that was out and going to fans' houses across America and playing them the music, and then a lot of them going, your music saved my life, and me going, well, damn, I never even tried to save your life. And that inspired me to write 1-800. So, like, I still hear some great pieces of feedback and apply those when I feel like it.
Can I talk about 1-800? Because, like, I want to read this article, right? That maybe a lot of people haven't seen it. Essentially, so this article from 2021, and they say Logic's 1-800 led to call surge to suicide line, they said. And then the article says a 2017 song by U.S. rapper Logic, named after the phone number of the U.S. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, led to a large increase in calls to the helpline, researchers have found. And then they say it found spikes in people reaching out for help and a possible decrease in suicides in the U.S., amounting to an estimated of 245 people. It found tens of thousands of people talking about the song on social media, and just under 10,000 extra calls to the lifeline in spike periods after the song's release and the big performances. And I saw that, right, as you were talking about this. And do you ever think about that, kind of like just the impact, bro? Like the impact of your words. Because the impact of your words, like literally, like what you say in your music is, I look at as someone who's an artist. I look at artists and I say, you're literally shaping the youth. You're either helping the youth or you're destroying the youth. And I look at Logic and I say, oh, he's helping the youth because he's putting all these good things in his music at the forefront. He's saying, go, if you need help, go call the suicide
line. Yeah,
line.
put your hand up. I think what was really crazy is when Congress wrote me a letter. Mm-hmm. They wanted me to speak, but I had some shit to do, so I couldn't make it. My bad, Congress. They wanted me to speak and talk about it because they had done some like scientific, wild, gnarly, mathematical some shit to find out, yes, my song, in fact, did save a lot of lives. And they ended up writing me this letter. And I that was a really surreal, crazy moment for me because I was like, man, I always wanted to have an impact. And if there was ever a sign, because we can't take the money with us, we can't do none of that. So the fact that, I mean, they called me. They were like, you are one of the biggest reasons why we changed it from 1-800-273-825 to 988. Now all you got to do is dial 988. And to know
they changed it because of you?
I know that I had something to do with it, yes.
Okay, that's insane.
Yeah, and that makes me feel really, really happy. Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why I'm like, man, fuck all these other motherfuckers. Who gives a shit? For real. Like, But you got to go through stuff to get to where you're going. I mean, it's so easy. It's just easily said. But
you just got to, I feel like the thing is about life and any journey is, I like to say that you got to go through the motions. You got to go through the emotions. You got to go through the stress. You got to go through the doubt, the insecurity, not feeling enough, not accepting yourself. Yeah. You got to go through all these things. And then eventually, in the end, hopefully, everybody doesn't arrive to that place like you've arrived. And it's not about the money.
No, mentally.
It's not. It ain't about the money, bro. Fuck the money,
personal success.
I say it's about spiritual growth. Like, your spirit has grown.
For sure.
A lot. Your spirit is more confident than ever right now. Like, you're more like, this is me. And you're also like that because you got a family at home now. So it's like, if I'm not strong, I'm not going to be the man of my household. So what's that going to do to my baby boy? And if there's someone who knows what growing up in a household where, mentally your parents are not showing up for you. If someone who knows, it's you, bro. Like, you know that. You know the impact of that.
I do. I look at my son and I'm like, damn, because I think about him at 3 and I have memories at 3 in a crack house. I have memories at 3 being brought home by the police. I have memories at 3 seeing my mom and, various men fight her all battered and bloody. Like, I remember this at 3, smoking cigarettes in the house right next to me. All this shit. And I'm like, damn. And I look at my boy, it makes me emotional because I'm like, I could never do that to this little baby boy. Yeah. And then it makes me kind of sad because I'm like, damn, they did that shit to me. But then it makes me happy because I'm like, I told my story and it made me millions of dollars. So thanks for that. It's like it's just.
But it really is a blessing because it's like, once you see the other side, you're never going to go to that side. Like, once you see what it's like.
Many do.
Many do.
Okay, a lot of my family
that's a good point.
Did and does. You see.
But certain people don't. And you're one of those people who you've seen it.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And I don't know how or why or I don't know.
That's one thing I've always asked about you. I'm like, Logic had every reason to say, to literally be homeless on the street. Like, Logic in 2023 could have been homeless on the street.
For sure.
Not had shit, nothing. Yeah, been a nobody.
Parallel universe.
Yeah, in a parallel universe, of course. But look at you now.
Yeah, it's funny. I was walking down, or I was driving. I wasn't walking. I was driving in the back of my Maybach. And I was driving under this overpass. And I saw this homeless person's situation. And they weren't around, but I saw their home. And they had like a sleeping bag and a bunch of like ornaments and shit around. I took a picture of it, actually. Mm-hmm. And then like on the concrete wall, they had like a spatula and a big fork and a big spoon and all this, and it was almost like decorated. And I realized in that moment, I was like, oh, this is this person's hobby. They will find odd, large utensils such as forks and knives and such, and use that to decorate their space. And I was like, man, that's what I do. I take music and things that inspire me and that I like, and I put it out into the world. And that's my art. And it is no different from what this person is doing under this overpass. And I am just so lucky that I get to do it for millions of people. Yes. But it doesn't make it any different. And it doesn't come any less from the heart from either one of us.
It doesn't.
And I was like, damn, that's
because it's not really. You can have a lot of things, but you can be broke inside. you know. And
sure.
And one thing about you is like, you of course had a lot of insecurities like coming up in the game as a youngin. You know, motherfucker, it's the come up, right? The good old days. We got to talk about the mixtape days.
For sure, yeah.
But like, I think the click for you is like, you do it for love, and you kind of also don't look at other people in a way where, because you know that you're blessed, and you have one thing about you I see, and I really love this because like this is really gonna rub off on me after this. You're a grateful guy.
For sure, bro.
Like I feel like you wake up every day and you're like, damn, look at my life.
I do.
You do.
And the biggest thing is too, it's like, I'm like, damn, I don't have cancer. That's a real thing.
Damn.
I don't have to fight that. These are things. Damn, I don't have like I don't need a kidney transplant. Damn, I don't have chronic pain. Like, I really think about that shit. I have my limbs. You know what I mean? Like, I really be like, yo, people just take shit for granted.
Yeah,
I don't.
I got my hands right now. Damn.
Yo, I know, man. I got to beat my dick somehow. And I'd be like, literally, though, I'd be like, man, I'm like, I can't. Look at this. My elbow works. I know it might sound stupid to y'all, but
no, that's good. That's how you should think.
That's what I think about. And then, you know, after that, I think about my son. Obviously, I think about how my son is healthy and good, and my wife. And then I'm like, oh man, I got millions of dollars too. This is crazy. Yeah. And then I think about that shit.
I like the fact that you don't make the focal point the money, because it's like the money. You're not gonna take. You're rich. You got the bag, but it's like the bag is gonna disappear once you're in the motherfucking grave. It's like, so it's like,
yo, 100%.
Like,
that's why I never understood. Like, I wonder what people on their deathbed. I got a record I did called Legacy on Young Sinatra 4.
Yeah.
And it's basically about this dude who just spent his whole life. It's kind of like, what the fuck is that? The cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, the man on the moon. I forget the song. Put it in the comments below. But I remember hearing this song by this like super white guy.
Okay.
He's singing this song.
Okay.
And it's basically about how when he was a little boy, his dad wouldn't pay him any attention. And he always wanted to spend time with him. And like his dad would, you know, it's not like he was a terrible dad, but he was kind of an average dad. Like, he was there, but, you know, he was working, he was grinding. And he kept telling his son, like, we'll get together then, son. Like, just give me a little bit. We'll get together. We'll get together. We'll get together. And then the roles are reversed. He himself has a child. His father's now old. And his father's coming to him realizing what he did. And he's like, oh, boy, let's spend some time together. And the kid goes, we'll get together then, Dad. We'll get together. We'll get together. And then his dad passes, and then he does it to his son. And it's just kind of the same thing.
Cycle.
And so on this record, Legacy, that I did, it was like the rap version of that. And it's just kind of like, when me. Because I'm really rapping about me. This is before I even had my baby. I was like, if I sacrifice all this time for music and money and riches, and then I'm laid up with an illness in a bed in the biggest mansion in the world, but I'm dying.
Yeah.
And I it's not even that I don't have time left. It's that when I had time, I didn't spend it. And I'm looking at my children grown and my grandchildren, and I'm looking at all this bullshit over here, all these numbers and all these accounts that don't matter.
Yeah.
So I kind of put myself in that at 28, 29 years old and was like, is that what I want? No. And that is a big part of what also just kind of changed my perspective of what matters now. And I ain't perfect.
How do you keep that at the forefront, though? Because like a lot of times, like, you know how this, like, we live in a materialistic world, you know, status, money, all this shit matters. You got to pay the rent. All these things matter. But how do you kind of look at those things, and how do you not put so much value? Because what I say is this, right? This is what I say. This is what I believe, and I'm just trying to think like this. Like, if I can pay my rent, I got clothes, and I can give my dad money every single month, like I do every single month till the day I fucking die. That's where happiness is, and I don't want to say once I get to that or that. I just want to debate. These are the basics.
Good for you, because I used to always go, once I get to that, once I get to this. My whole career was that. You know what I mean? I was like, man, if only I could perform at an open mic, then you do it. Man, if I could get some fans, then you do it. Man, if I could only have my own real show, then you do it. You got 100 people there. Oh my God, you did it. If I could only put out a mixtape, then you do it. If I could only put out another mixtape and get it on Dat Piff and do over 50,000, then you do it. If I could only get a record deal, then you do it. If I could only go on a nationwide tour, and then you do it. If I could only do a bigger tour, and then you do it. If I could only put out a debut album, and then you do it. If I could only go #1 on an album, then you do Tits, and then you do it. Okay, all right, this is cool and all, but I want to do some trap shit, and then you do it. All right, but I never had a platinum plaque. I want to play, and then you make everybody, and you got billions of streams, and you're everywhere, and then you do it, and you got a hit record, and then it's just you. But you just keep going and going, and you're like, but I need this, and I need that, and I need this, and I need that, and bro, my whole career was just and then
I'll be happy, and then
for real
I'll feel better about myself, and then I will feel the way I'm supposed.
And a big one too was like, and then they'll like me. Because like I started
that's
back.
That's even worse though.
Yeah. Why do you think I was so fucked up? Yeah. So it's like
I know now. I get it now.
Yeah. In the basement, I was like, you know, like there was like haters at the open mic, and I'm like one day, and then there's haters on the internet, and they say you're never gonna do a tour, and you do a tour. You know, you ain't never gonna do an album. You do an album. Yeah, but you ain't gonna go gold. You go gold. Yeah, but you ain't gonna go platinum. You go platinum. Yeah, but you ain't gonna go diamond. Almost diamond. Yeah. So it's like it's just and then it's like, what am I doing? Is this chip on my shoulder? And I'm just trying to. And so when I realized that my mind was so focused on other shit rather than the present, that's when I knew I needed to make a real change, because it was affecting my personal life.
I mean, of course, like when you're not. Imagine if I wasn't present right here with you, and I was thinking about how, because I had some thoughts before last night before I was about to sleep. I was thinking about, damn, I'm about to do this interview with Logic. How's it gonna go? I made like a little mind map, and then I just wrote your name in the middle, and I wrote a couple things like then. I want to get your perspective on a lot of those things.
Wow,
right?
That's cool.
So I want to read this. So from your album College Park, right? You have a song called Incipio, and on the outro.
Oh, Incipio.
Incipio.
Okay. Yeah, Incipio is actually a word that I created. I never told anybody this.
Okay, tell me.
It's a word that I created about the duality of an artist, and how you can have some artists that want to make music from their heart, for the culture, for the art. That's it. Doesn't matter if it does good, not this, that. They just doing it because they love it. Any artist, painter, whatever. And then you have an artist that wants to make money from what they do. And so they'll make art that they know will do good numbers, good this, good that. And neither one of them is wrong. If an artist wants to make art that's going to make them money, and they're doing what they love while getting rich, there's nothing wrong with that. And if an artist wants to sit there and do everything from the heart and give zero fucks on what the outcome is, that's amazing. And to me, that's always been Logic's career. When I'm making Bobby Tarantino 2, it's because I just made an album called Everybody that I never thought in a million years was going to be as big as it was. I gave up on a radio hit. I didn't make 1-800 like, oh, this is going to go off in the club. No, I never did nothing like that. I made it from my heart. And then when it went up, then I was like, now, let's get that BT2. Let's get Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Let's do these things that I know are going to get me $30 million. And that's what I did. So that's what Incipio means. Incipio is the duality of an artist. Because that's why I go back and forth in those lyrics. And I tell myself, hurry up then. Wait, boy, you better calm down. I'm actually, that's the two sides of me trying to decide which side should be on this beat. And then they both are on the beat. Bro, there's so many songs like that, and so many songs with such depth that you probably don't, and you're a big fan, and I love you for that, that you probably don't even know how deep it really is. And I've just never given a fuck to explain that, because I mean, once you put art out there, it is what it is.
I get it. Yeah. So the reason why I brought up that song, right, because on the outro, this excerpt that Lucy Rose is reading, right, and it says, true wealth cannot be measured in gold, but in experience, age, and everything that comes with it is a blessing. So many of us are chasing our youth, fixated on the wonder years, when every moment they have now is wonderful. Family, friends, having children, and shifting the perspective of one's entire world in the blink of an eye. This is age. So while you look in the mirror thinking those thoughts, just remember, with every wrinkle and every gray comes another day that you're alive. I thought that was such a beautiful... Did you write that?
Yeah.
You wrote that?
I wrote all that.
Can you explain that? Because like the first part, true wealth cannot be measured in gold. What is that like? Is that like about the spirit? What is that about?
Yeah, it's about the spirit, and to me, time.
Time. Okay.
So when I say true wealth cannot be measured in gold, but in age and experience, because the more you know, the more you have. You know what I mean? Like, and this is when I was going through aging, and I still do, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm not the pimply faced little kid I was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? And there's a part of me that I'm okay with that, but I think I think it's actually a blessing that I've been in the game so long. Mind you, bro, I'm 33, bro. I'm young.
It's nothing.
It really,
45, I'll say the same thing. It's nothing. It's young.
You know, and then once you're in the 50s and shit, you kind of old. You know, you're getting there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, I was looking at myself and just kind of like, oh shit, like I got some wrinkles, or I got this, or I got that. And I know that even the public, it's hard because they see me at these different stages, and it's like very youthful and skinny white kid looking motherfucker, like da. Yeah. And then now it's like, damn, he's a man. And then, you know, I can see comments like, damn, he old as shit now. Yeah. He look like shit, da whatever. Yeah. And those things used to hurt me. Yeah. Until I realized, like, bro, it's a blessing. The fact that you're even talking shit and that I'm that relevant at this age, damn, this is crazy. Yeah. And that was one of the things that really helped me let that go. Was that.
So I feel like now you just got, like, you got peace of mind with a lot of shit right now.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
I love that. Like, man, I don't want to ask you what are the keys to that, because you've literally given me the keys, but it's like, to anyone who's listening to this, like, how do you get to that place of just, like, I feel like you've just submitted to the journey. You're fine with where you're at right now.
Yeah, relinquishing control is a big deal. It's almost like being on a plane. You know, I used to have a terrible fear of flying, horrible, because I was like, oh my God, like I was just so scared that it was going to crash every time. Bro, I've flown well over like 1 million miles. Like,
of course.
So for years and years and years, I was so scared, but then I just had to stop and tell myself, bro, if this motherfucking plane is going to crash, it ain't shit you can do about it. And even if you're in a really turbulent situation, like, why would you spend 6 hours like this freaking out? Yeah. When you can just let it go? And to me, the time to freak out is when that motherfucker's going down. And even then, if it goes down, hey, you can freak out, but
go down with some confidence. Like, I'm dying anyway.
I mean, I'd be screaming like a bitch. I'm gonna be honest. I'd be like, oh shit, oh fuck, like, you know. But when I realized, like, you gotta let that shit go. I'm not in control. And that's how I felt about comments, people, perception, others. And so, like, this confidence, because that's what it is. I've even seen people, like, in some interviews I've done recently where they're like, oh, he's a narcissist, or he's so cocky, or da-da-da. I see it. And I'm just like, fuck you, I'm rich. Like, in my mind, I'm just like, who gives a shit? But I used to be like, oh my God, but that's not me. If they only knew me. And I'm just like, man, am I really worried about this, or am I hanging out with my son? Am I really worried about this, or am I spending time with my wife and my loved ones? Is this really what I'm worried about?
So because that's gonna take you away from that.
Yeah, exactly. It was taking me away from that. Yeah. But most people don't realize that. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I think the only way one can truly come into who they are is through age. So, you know, and to hear what I'm saying. But like I said, I mean, there's some people that aren't just going to even be able to fathom what I'm talking about because they're 14. Yeah. They're watching this. They're 14. They live with their parents. They still got 4 more years with their parents. Yeah. They're not going to understand what I'm saying for maybe even 20 years.
Of course.
But there are things from this interview that they are taking away. They like my music.
Of course.
They like this, and they like my positive attitude, so they take what they can.
Of course.
And that's kind of how I've always been with the world. I take what I can and keep it pushing.
Okay. Bro, I'm good with that. This is good.
You sure? Yeah. You got shit else you want to ask me?
I'm 1000%, bro. I'm good. I actually want to take like some pics and stuff like that, so I don't want to like...
No, we could do all that too.
Yeah.
Can I take a moment and say something?
Oh, of course. Of course.
So, first of all, how did you start doing all this?
We mean like my channel?
Yeah.
So I started back in 2017, and the real story actually.
Yeah, let's hear the real story.
You want to hear the real story?
Hear the real story.
The real story? Okay, so the real. I'm actually
Come on.
I don't know if I want to put this in public.
What you mean, motherfucker? You better. If you can ask me all them questions, I'm gonna ask you. What happened? How did it go?
How it really started was I actually had a fan page.
Ooh, was it?
On Twitter, yeah.
Really? What was the fan page? It was
actually a Logic fan page.
Oh, it was?
It was a Logic fan page.
Fuck you mean? You better put this shit in the interview, goddamn.
And then I created a channel. Yeah. Connected to that fan page. And then I remember I had posted like 12, 13 videos on that channel. Like it was a Logic related channel.
Wow.
Right? I think I had like 4,000 subscribers. And then I remember I got to a point where I was like, I want to expand.
For sure.
And I want to create something that's not only in this little pocket, right? And I created my channel. And then I told all the people from the Logic channel to subscribe to the Blacky Speakz channel.
Smart.
I'm smart. And I got a head start.
And I want to tell you something. Yeah, you did. You did get a head start. Yeah. And I want you to leave this in your shit because I don't want you to be no punk. I want you to let people know where the fuck you came from.
Okay.
And that we all start somewhere.
Okay.
And the reason why I asked you that question is because there were so many people that did what you did that had even more followers that I would just tweet them out and show them love.
Yeah.
And they would have 150,000 here, 80,000 there, all these Logic accounts.
Yeah.
And I saw all those Logic accounts go from the top 10 best Logic verses and and all this love and fan.
Yeah.
And then the internet started changing in general, how we talk about what gets clicks. And then it was like, what's the 10 most ass Logic? You know, his shit is lame.
Yeah.
What's the 10 worst songs Logic ever did? And and all this other shit. And you never did that.
Yeah.
And those pages don't even fucking exist anymore, really. And you never did that. You stayed positive and you stayed a good person. And I want you to know that's why I fuck with you. And you don't got to like every album I do. You don't got to like every song. You gotta But you respect the art and you respect the person who made it. And I want to take a moment and thank you, man, because you have actually been a really great support system for me.
Oh, wow.
And when I was going through it and shit and all these other people and whatever want to just kind of talk about a bunch of bullshit or say things and try to skew.
Yeah.
You always kept it real, even if it wasn't your favorite album, even if it wasn't whatever. You weren't a fucking asshole about it.
Yeah, of course, because I just got so much love for you, bro, and like you just did so much for me, brother. Like you literally created the soundtrack to my life in my adolescent years. That's what you did, bro. You literally, that's what you did.
Because that was my goal. I've always said, like, I just want to make the soundtrack to somebody's life, you know?
Yeah, you did. So from 15, for me, like 15, between 15 and 18 especially, like those were like pivotal years in my life. And like during that time, there's so many things I was going through, so many transitions in my life. And your music was just like, man, you kept on just pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. And then I always told myself, I was like, when people ask me on a musical level, I don't really listen to Logic that much now. But one thing about Logic is like whenever he does something, I'm always going to show up. I'm always going to respect him. I'm always going to love what Logic does because it's like all the shit that you gave me, bro, is you instilled confidence in me, bro.
Wow.
And I
appreciate that.
Like, so a lot of my success too, I credit to you.
You know, it's funny that you say that because that's really how I feel about something like my top, rappers and shit like Drake or Cole have had such effects on me, but I don't even listen to their music anymore. And I don't mean that. That's no slight. It's like if Drake drops, I'm going to check it out.
Of course.
If Cole drops, I'm going to check it out because I love it. I'm support. But like, I don't know. I just listen to other shit. Like I'll be listening to like Zaloopers and shit. Like just different. I don't know. Just whatever. I'll be listening to more kind of underground rap or up and coming rap or Mac DeMarco or Toro Imoa and just different shit. And I think about how much those artists, Kendrick, Cole, Drake were there for me.
Yeah. And
now I don't even really listen to them like that. Yeah. And don't try to take that out of context or SZA's going to come after y'all. No, I'm just kidding. What I say is like, to be happy for someone, appreciate them, support them. If you're a fan of somebody, you're always a fan. You're just, you love,
But I'm not just a fan of Logic. I'm a fan of Bob. I like Bobby.
I appreciate that. That's why I'm going ham on social media nowadays because it's like, it's deeper than just the music. The music is there. That's cool. But like, and at the end of the day, the message is peace, love, and positivity, like beyond. Yeah. Like to be comfortable in your skin, bro, it's a really hard thing to do. It is so hard. It's so hard. The hardest thing you can do is be yourself. So thank you for being yourself.
Thank you, brother.
And you better leave that fucking story in how you started, because that's some real shit.
I will do it.
That's gangster.
I will do that shit.
And look at that. You wasn't no bitch about it. You took something, you utilized an amazing opportunity that you had for something bigger, beautiful, and positive. So
and literally changed my life and changed my family's life. And now I'm here. They're hearing about this. I'm gonna do this, and they're gonna be watching this every single word.
Your family?
Of course.
Hey yo, shout out my man's family. Can I just say that you guys raised an incredible young man? He's awesome. Like, you don't understand, this young man has been a part of my life. Like, I don't think you understand that. Like, you have been a part of my life since you started. And that's why a lot of musicians, they don't talk about that shit. We see everything. We see it all. We see all of it. Like all these cat Uzi and all them, they see your shit.
I know.
But like you need to know.
I mean, I know. Like I don't. The only person.
But you're not a fuck boy. That's what's so great about it. Like there's so many channels and people who they just put the most bullshit titles and all this for clicks, and they don't care about the artist. You care about the artist, bro. You want to talk about culture? You are the culture.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, so here's your flowers.
Thank you. Here's your flowers.
I love you, man.
I love you, brother. Can I get a hug?
Oh yeah.
Let me get a hug, man.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for that.